Hello, my fellow readers. This is Dark Symphony 777 with another fan fiction review. As always, a link to the story will be in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications. Leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts of the story. And finally, listen, my opinion. My opinion is I take it of everyone in the world, so please respect that. As well as if you have any suggestions for fan fictions at the time, leave in the comment section as well. So the story I'm doing a review of is Left Behind by the Psychopath. It is a My Little Pony fan fiction. And I have to say, you can tell I'm humming a lot. Well, it's because I like the story, but there's one really, I had to turn the fan back off. I'm pretty sure you probably heard it. There's one really big problem with this story. So, what is the plot? Well, the plot is you have to understand the context behind this person. Wait, no. This person. Nightmare Moon. Or whatever the fuck this version of Nightmare Moon is. Let me go back to that page. If you've never seen My Little Pony, or at least heard of it, first off, why did you never heard of it? Because it was like everywhere in like early 2010s. You couldn't meet one person who wasn't referencing it. But more importantly, in the context of this story plays up the imprisonment of Nightmare Moon. Those of you who don't know who Nightmare Moon is actually Princess Luna, Celestia's sister, who went mad with power. I think in the comic books there was like some kind of actual explanation, like some kind of virus or something like that. I don't know the full context of that, but whatever it was, played to Luna's insecurities because everyone was always awake during the day, but always sleeping during the night. So Luna got jealous and turned into Nightmare Moon, who basically wanted to shroud all of Equestria in eternal night. And so Celestia, deciding I have to stop this, decides to put a seal on Luna and banish her to the moon. Basically, send her to the moon. I had to reference it. I had to. Turning her into the Mare in the Moon. So therefore, she eventually became a myth, like something that's just fiction because it's been so long. However, Celestia knows that in 1,000-year time, Nightmare Moon is going to come back, which leads into the very first 2 episodes of My Little Pony Friendship with Magic. That's basically the end result of that. In this story, something happens to the imprisonment of Nightmare Moon. More specifically, the seal that's put on her is instead randomly strengthened for unknown reasons, and instead of coming back in 1,000 years, she comes back 10,000 years. So everything is completely different. Everyone died. Celestia died. All of Equestria has pretty much become fractured and broken, and she's just like, okay. And basically wants to do Nightmare Moon things. She kind of wants to shroud the world of her life, but she's like constantly distracted by the fact of everything going around during the plot. I think she's actually conveniently forgot about that. And basically, everyone's like, alicorns as a concept is fictional. Canterlot is fictional. And the whole plot is Nightmare Moon trying to figure out what happened. Just why do you consider me fictional? Why do you consider Canterlot fictional? What happened to Celestia? What happened to Canterlot? What the fuck happened to Equestria as a whole? Oh, by the way, also I'm your leader. Bow. And that's basically more or less the plot. It's just Princess Nightmare Moon just trying to figure out what's going on. And I think that's a very simple plot. I think it works in this case because it's trying to be like a whole overarching mystery. Like you're supposed to be right there with Nightmare Moon trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And over the course of the story, she gets like bits and pieces, and you're supposed to understand and figure things out with context clues. This is a very context heavy story. The author's not gonna hand it out to you. The author's like, no. You are gonna have to figure it out just like Nightmare Moon. And even she doesn't understand half of it. When it comes to Nightmare Moon's character, she's very basic, but in this case, basic is actually very important because what can you do with a Nightmare Moon that was technically supposed to be episode 1? So at this point, Luna's not coming back. Luna is not going to get her character development. You're just a very, very angry mayor who, as soon as she comes back from the moon, decides, I'm taking over this shit. And then she just gets confused by everyone just speaking another dialect. And that just completely freezes her in her tracks. Like, what? Huh? Yeah. Wait. Airships. Wait. You should have evolved past that. Wait. Why are you speaking? What are you speaking? I don't understand. Me no speak English. Me no speak Japonish. And everything. And she constantly gets sidetracked by a bunch of little things that seem inconsequential at the moment, but also are important, like the whole dialect thing. Everyone, because it's 10,000 years, everyone's kind of developed a different dialect, kind of like how Spanish has like different versions of dialect. Like you have regular Spanish, you have I think Brazilian's a form of Spanish, Venezuelan's a form of Spanish. At least I believe. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not in this case. But yeah, there's like various dialects and stuff like that, even like wittisms. And a big plot line of this story is the fact that Nightmare Moon is taken so off guard by the fact that it's not even so much, it's a completely different language that she just completely, I think, forgets about wanting to shroud the world in eternal night, and she's trying to focus on learning the language so she can find out what happened. She's very braggart, she's very ostentatious, she's very over the top. But at the end of the day, she's also very emotionally fragile. That actually happens at the end of the story where Candy Cane and Candied Cane accidentally go into Luna's dreamscape, and they see like a broken Luna just trying to like visualizing her revenge on Celestia's. Like they keep ending up in like scenarios where like Luna kills Celestia's, like, and then she sees her like, what are you doing here? Like, and they go like, ugh. And then she goes to another dream and tries to send them out, but they keep bouncing back into the dream, and she's just getting confused and more confused. Like, oh, you still here? We never left. Yeah. Why are you back? Don't know. Why are you back? I'm with my brother. We don't know. And then they do like a random group therapy session, and it's like Luna's at her core very lonely because she lost the only family she had left. Now she's like trying. She found out that her teacher was actually a descendant of Celestia somehow. Even Luna like questions like, you claim you're descendant to me? Yes. Bullshit. I was stuck in the moon for 10,000 years. I didn't have kids. What about Celestia? She might have had kids. Is Luna a great character? Yeah, really. The problem is she doesn't really grow that much. It's fine that she's very basic on a core level because it works with this type of story. It makes sense in the context that she has to be she has to be basic. But the fact that she doesn't really grow that much is kind of a concern. I'm going to put an asterisk next to it. I'm going to explain at the end. Trust me, It's gonna make sense. But I think in terms of that, it's fine. When it comes to the grammar, I think the grammar is fine. I think there might have been no. I think the whole candy cane was on purpose. It actually confused me too. I think. Oh yeah, there's also the interpreter. The interpreter. What was his name? Sunny Smiles. He's fine. I think. Again, he's just like Nightmare Moon. He's very basic, but it makes sense in the context of the story. Kind of has to be basic to work with Nightmare Moon. It he's just kind of he's just an average Joe kind of guy. Again, it works for him. I think the average Joe type of character works. And he's also kind of descendant of Celestia. Even he's like kind of confused, like and he kind of just deals with Nightmare Moon's eccentricities. It works fine. They're fine. Grammar fine. Pacing. It's a very fast paced story. I think in this kind of context, it does make sense. It's faster paced in the second half of the story. Again, we're gonna put an asterisk on that because it's gonna be very important. Uh oh, and also an asterisk to the plot. I completely forgot to put an asterisk towards the plot. There, when it comes to the sentence structure and the writing style, I think it's it fits what the story author's trying to go for the story. A very basic, bare bone story that's kind of get you into things and just here's an idea. I'm just gonna try and work with the idea as best I can. It's fine. I think for all intents and purposes, it's a good story. Not a great story, but I think it's a solid above average story. Would I recommend this? Yes. What would be my favorite part? Probably not really. I don't really have a favorite part. Oh yeah, probably like the running gag, like early. Okay, so for context, my favorite part is early in the story when Nightmare Moon's still trying to get used to things. She talks to the mayor. The mayor's just kind of bored. And he's just kind of humoring her. It's like, okay, I'm gonna. Oh, no, I want her to take over because I'm bored and I just don't want to do the job anymore. Yeah. Nightmare Moon says, "I want this broken down castle." The mayor goes, "Okay." I'm gonna get constructions. Calls the king of Equestria because now there's like a diarchy and something. He calls the king. He's like, "King, I got an amazing proposition for you. Very amazing proposition. What is it, my boy?" Okay. Oh, that came out of my throat. What is it, my boy? I got this broken down castle. I want you to send your best construction workers. I want you to patch it up. What do you want? Why do you want that? It's like, I want to give you the castle for a party. What do you say? King? Genius plan, my boy. I'll send the finest construction workers. Really? Yes. But I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it because I want the house. After my 20 other houses. That's not actually that he doesn't actually say that in the story. I just wanted to do that for the joke. So he gets like a big crew. King sends the crew to the area. They set up everything. Everyone takes one look at Nightmare Moon, pisses themselves. Then one specific pony gets pissed because of what Luna specifically looks like, and decides to spend the rest of the chapter trying to kill her. Complete with Nightmare Moon just completely ignoring the fact that she's getting assassinated. It's like, oh, she's walking underneath a big, they're lifting up a bunch of rock. She's walking under it. The rope holding the rock snaps, quote unquote. Sunny Smiles completely panics, like, Nightmare! And it just lands on her and it breaks on her back and she's like, yes. I gotta figure out where we go with this. It's like, and everyone's just like completely stunned, is like, ha! It's like, Nightmare Moon? Huh? Someone tried to rock fell on you. It did? Oh, brushes the debris off her back. Like, okay. And I'm just laughing at that. And then the chapter keeps going on of like her constantly getting attempted to get assassinated, but she's just completely she starts oblivious, but then she even realizes like, okay, yeah, one accident is fine, but okay, now it's just too many accidents preventing the construction of the castle. You don't even care about the fact you're being killed. Do you think a single pony's gonna kill me? No, no, that I think about it. No, where is he? She uses her magic, drags the pony that was like pissed at her. It's like, I know it was you. It's like, you can't prove it. Okay, it was me. Calls everyone. Where is the dungeon? We don't have a dungeon. But Gollywog says the castle has to have a dungeon. Oh, uses her magic, opens up a hole, conveniently finds a dungeon below it, drops the pony and closes it. It's like, feed it. Leave him there for like an hour. Possibly, maybe feed him. Who knows? Oh, God. And I'm just laughing through the whole thing. I thought that was funny. That's my favorite part. What would I fix? Well, then, those asterisks. Do you want to know why I had to leave those asterisks there? Because if we go to the very, very last chapter, go all the way down to the very end. The ending. This is the big problem I have with this story. The only big problem. I am not a fan of open-ended endings because you run the risk of one, you have to have a sequel. I'm not going to lollygag on the possibility that you might have a sequel, but you not usually they never do. The possibility that you may not even start the sequel, you might not finish it, because in context of the story, this happens after Princess Nightmare Moon kind of found the person who was like kind of bothering her ever since she came back. It turns out it was like a crazy male alicorn who was like hopped up on magic because of idiot cultists. They were like completely paranoid of alicorns. It was like, all alicorns must die. Turn this guy into an alicorn. No, we're doing it because we have. And he's the one who strengthened the spell on Nightmare Moon. And he did it because he's like not in his right mind anymore. And so Nightmare Moon kills the alicorn, walks up to the current changeling queen, and says, let us speak of reparations then. And it just becomes so open. It's such an open-ended ending. Because you still have the whole thing with the king and queen. Because throughout the story, they've been kind of sending assassins to kill Nightmare Moon. She's been killing them back because it's like they can't really do anything to her. There's the whole thing with the mayor. There was the whole thing with Sunny Smiles and his family tree. There's still so much that needs to be done with Celestia. There's so much sun that needs to be done with Nightmare Moon. Now you have the changelings. You have the possibility of maybe Spike, maybe the whole Canterlot, like what happened to the Ever Forest stuff. There's the other alicorns, like the cult. There's so many answers that need to be answered. That leaving it open-ended like this is such a bad idea. I will defend this because the author did write a sequel and it is finished. I'm more than likely going to review it next year. But I think if there is one thing that should have been done, combine the two stories. I think that it's just a simple solution, but I think that's really all I can offer because there's nothing strong. There's nothing wrong with the story as is. And it's banking on the fact that you're hoping, and the author did do it, that there was going to be a sequel. There's nothing wrong with this. Usually, when you want to write a story, you want to try and close off everything as much as you can to try and reduce the possibility of needing to go back to a sequel. So that way, if you need to go back to a sequel, you say there's some threads there, examine those threads, bust them wide open. That's what these types of stories usually offer. You need to actually close off as much as you can. You don't have to close off everything. So hence why I said, if a sequel comes, you have some plot threads. Let's go with that. But this is just half of the story not finished because there's so many actual plot, like major plot points that aren't even finished. And there's also the fact that Nightmare Moon, as a character, doesn't feel finished. Sunny Smiles doesn't feel finished. More than likely, they're more likely they're finished in the sequel. I don't know for sure. But as it stands right now, I think Left Behind is a good, not great, but a very solid story. I would honestly 100% recommend this story. So, that has been Left Behind by Psychopath. This is Dark Symphony 777, and cut.